Hey everybody, in this video we're looking at my Barbarian that I'm using on Torment. So let's get to the skills. My primary is Frenzy with Smite. This is for single target really. I have it with Smite just for the stun, nothing really else. I haven't really focused on lightning because I don't have the gear yet for it, but it would seem that way. Secondary is Whirlwind with Wind Shear to keep my mana up. This build is kind of based on keeping my mana maxed out for damage. We'll get to that in a second. So I have this for groups along with Rend. I use this in between Whirlwind, so when I'm in a group I'll use Rend. I have this with Bloodlust to keep my health topped off, 1000 damage over 5 seconds. Pretty good. Nothing crazy, but I use those together on groups. Keeps me alive. I have Battle Rage for the damage and crit chance along with Bloodshed, so my critical hits do 20% more damage, so that really helps with Whirlwind and some of the gear that I have, or the piece that I have. And then I have Warcry for survivability. I have it with Invigorate, give me extra life and health regen, so these two work hand in hand, Rend and Warcry. So I'm constantly gaining back health. And then finally Furious Charge. This I highly recommend for any Barbarian build, because it with Merciless Assault essentially you don't have a cooldown if there's a group, so you hit 5 people, no cooldown, you can do it again, along with 360 damage. That's great. I usually get about 4 million crits, things like that with it, but otherwise yeah, this is absolutely a must. It's good for anything. It doesn't use mana, it generates mana. It works great with this build, works great with anything if you need mana. Or Fury, sorry. Anyway, of course I have Weapons Master for the 8% baseline increase, along with Rampage. This really helps in large groups. Pretty soon you start doing huge amounts of damage. This is about a 200,000 increase for this build in damage. Unforgiving, critical for this build. You generate Fury, that way you're always topped off. And then finally, this is another critical. In Berserker Rage, you deal 25% additional damage while at max Fury. So everything about this build is about keeping up your Fury, except for maybe Rend, but with everything else you keep it up pretty fast. So this gives me about 120,000 extra damage. So my gear, there's really nothing to show. All I have really is just kind of crit chance, crit damage, and then some survivability, but really I haven't been farming enough, making enough, so this is just really just to get started on Torment and really start finding things. But the big piece is this. Thunder Fury I highly recommend for any character, any class, it doesn't matter. It's such a powerful weapon. It makes this build really shine. I'm happy I was able to find a level 70 Thunder Fury. It has some decent stats, so it could probably be better, but overall this is the bread and butter of pretty much any Barbarian build, it seems like, that I've seen. My offhand is just a Bull Kathos, just for the damage, really. I am going to change this out. I do have the second piece to this right here, but the 2-piece set bonus for the Bull Kathos is, I don't really care for it. The Whirlwind doesn't proc enough. If it did, if it was pretty much always up, then it would be a great, probably overpowered set bonus, but otherwise I don't use it. What I really want is this. For my offhand, I only have a level 67. I want to try to find a 70. The Fulminator, which lightning damage increase, or has a chance to turn enemies into essentially little AoEs for 200 damage. So that's just more damage overall on top of Thunder Fury. When I was leveling, this was amazing, these two together. So once I do find those, I'll make another video on that. Otherwise, everything else is pretty standard. My critical hit chance buffed is at 33.5. Not too high, but it does get the job done. My critical hit damage is pretty damn high with 48.1 or 481. That really helps, especially with the stronger mobs and the large groups. And then when I do get those big crits, Battle Rage with Bloodshed really shines, so it just mows everything down when I get some of those large crits. Everything just pretty much explodes. Otherwise, the rest of my stats aren't really anything special. So, buffed with full Fury, I'm doing 747 damage, 747k damage. And then my toughness, about 7 million, not very high, because I do need to get this higher. There's some times where it gets close, skin of my teeth. So anyway, let's see what I can do. Let's just go to Leaping Hollow. And also with Furious Charge, oh, this is perfect. So with Furious Charge, you could just do this until everything's pretty much dead. And then you just mop up afterwards. With the lower guys. With the tougher guys, that'll clean up all the weaker enemies. But as you can see, it's really an AoE build. All I really do is just whirlwind when there's groups. Use my frenzy when there's singles, and then that's pretty much it. And then use Furious Charge whenever I can. So here's my damage on a single target. So it's about 2 million for Fury, 4 million for or Frenzy, 4 million for Thunder Fury when it procs. That's with the full buff. Right now I'm at 900, almost 1 million damage with the 25 stacks. And my gear isn't even that great. That's the surprising thing. I couldn't imagine having the gear that I want and how good this build would be, but this is how I play. I didn't build it on any specifics. This is just what kind of came from leveling and just kind of picking what I do like and what works. I mean, if certain things were an option like survivability and stuff, I would have a couple other moves. But I don't have big cooldown moves. I can't stand those, especially the 2-minute cooldowns. Even damn, I miss everybody. Even with less time, it's just still way too much. I understand that you could take things down fast, but Jesus, come on. What if you run into 2 groups, like one right after? No way. So, as you can tell, my gear is trans mode. I don't really care for keeping everything the same, because it looks too cobbled together. Like if I just had it look normal, I'd look like a total idiot. Even if I didn't dye it, I would look like a clown in armor. But well, that's pretty much it for this build. Just essentially you got millions of damage popping up all the time. Just got to make sure to keep up your buffs and just charge everything. And what doesn't die with the charge, and you got too few enemies, just decide either to use Frenzy or Whirlwind. That's about it. So here's a good group. This will probably be my final group before the end of the video, but as you can see, Furious Charge doesn't, I mean, I probably could kill them faster with Whirlwind, but Furious Charge knocks them back, throws them off their game. I don't really take damage, so it is kind of a defensive move in that right too. So, like I said, it is one of the most powerful moves in my opinion that you can get for the Barbarian, and I'm surprised more people don't use it, but it's probably just a DPS loss or whatever the hell they want to say about it. Who gives a shit? Otherwise, oh come on. As you can see, my life regenerates pretty damn fast. I'm standing in the middle of this shit and still fighting away like a champ. Look at all those. Never even picked them up. Radius could be a little higher too, but otherwise, that's my build. This is how I enjoy it. I highly recommend it if you want to try it out. Thunder Fury, I'm not sure how much you need it. You'd probably need a little better gear if you don't have it. But there could be better weapons out there. I haven't done the research as of yet on what they do have. But otherwise, that's that. And I'll make another video most likely about how it does in multiplayer. It'll probably be shorter, and keep an eye out for that. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And thanks a lot for watching. You've been watching Dread's Escape channel. So anyway, have a good one.